Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on AWS Security Hub. So this lecture will contain all these topics. What is AWS Security Hub? Central configuration in AWS Security Hub. AWS service integrations with Security Hub. Findings in AWS Security Hub. Cross-region aggregation in AWS Security Hub. Security controls and standards in AWS Security Hub. Insights, automations. So what is AWS Security Hub? AWS Security Hub collects security data from multiple AWS accounts, AWS services, and supported third-party products, providing you with a holistic view of your security state in AWS. With the collected security data, Security Hub helps you analyze your security trends and identify the highest priority security issues that require immediate attention. Security Hub supports various security standards, including the AWS Foundational Security Best Practices (FSBP) standard, as well as external compliance frameworks like the Center for Internet Security (CIS), Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard (PCI DSS), and National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST). Each standard consists of several security controls representing best practices. By running checks against the security controls defined in the supported standards, Security Hub generates control findings that help you assess your compliance against these security best practices. In addition to generating its own control findings, Security Hub also receives findings from other AWS services like Amazon GuardDuty, Amazon Inspector, and Amazon Macie, as well as supported third-party products. This integration provides a single pane of glass view into various security-related issues. You can also send Security Hub findings to other AWS services and third-party products for further action. Security Hub offers automation features to help you efficiently triage and remediate security issues. For example, you can set up automation rules to automatically update critical findings when a security check fails. Additionally, by leveraging the integration with Amazon EventBridge, you can trigger automatic responses to specific findings, streamlining your security workflows. Central configuration in AWS Security Hub. Central configuration helps you set up and manage Security Hub across multiple AWS accounts and AWS regions, simplifying the process of securing your entire AWS environment. To use central configuration, you must first integrate Security Hub with AWS organizations by creating an organization and designating a delegated Security Hub administrator account for the organization. So this will be AWS account on which you will be delegating Security Hub administrator account privileges or this kind of a role. From the delegated Security Hub administrator account, you can specify how the Security Hub service, security standards, and security controls are configured in your organization accounts and organizational units OUs across regions. You can configure these settings in just a few steps from one primary region, referred to as the home region, which eliminates the need to configure Security Hub separately in each AWS account and region. The delegated administrator can choose which AWS accounts and organizational units to configure. If designated as self-managed, the member can configure its own settings separately in each region. If designated as centrally managed, only the delegated administrator can configure the member account or OU across regions. So the first account, which is the delegated administrator account, has the option to either say other accounts are self-managed or they are centrally managed, and in both the different situations they will be able to configure their own settings, or they will become part of member account and they have to only delegated administrator can configure these AWS Security Hub settings. To configure centrally managed accounts, the delegated administrator uses Security Hub configuration policies. These policies allow the delegated administrator to specify whether Security Hub is enabled or disabled, which standards and controls are enabled or disabled, and customize parameters of certain controls. Configuration policies take effect in the home region and all the linked regions. The delegated administrator specifies the organization's home region and linked regions before starting to use central configuration. The delegated administrator can create a single configuration policy for the whole organization or create multiple configuration policies to configure variable settings for different AWS accounts and organizational units. Okay, AWS service integrations with Security Hub. So let's see all the services which are integrated with Security Hub. So first, under configuration and compliance, you have AWS Config, AWS Firewall Manager, and IAM Access Analyzer. Under threat detection, you have Amazon Guard Duty, Amazon Inspector, Amazon Macie, IoT Device Defender. Then under incident management, you have AWS Systems Manager, Patch Manager, AWS Audit Manager, AWS Chatbot, and Amazon Detective. And other AWS services are Amazon Security Lake, AWS Systems Manager Explorer and Ops Center, AWS Trusted Advisor, and AWS Health. Okay, let's see something about findings in AWS Security Hub. So AWS Security Hub eliminates the complexity of addressing large volumes of findings from multiple providers. It reduces the effort required to manage and improve the security of all of your AWS accounts, resources, and workloads. Security Hub receives findings from the following sources. First one, Security Hub checks against enabled controls, integration with AWS services that you have enabled, integrations with third-party products that you have enabled, and custom integrations that you configure. Security Hub consumes findings using a standard findings format called the AWS Security Finding Format. Security Hub correlates the findings across integrated products to prioritize the most important ones. Finding providers can update findings to reflect additional instances of the finding. You can update findings to provide details about your investigation and its results. Security Hub also allows you to aggregate findings across regions so that you can view all of your findings from one place. Okay, now next topic is cross-region aggregation in AWS Security Hub. With cross-region aggregation, you can aggregate various types of data including findings, finding updates, insights, control compliance status, and security scores from multiple AWS regions into a single aggregation region. Once the data is aggregated into the designated aggregation region, you can manage and analyze all of this information from that central location, which simplifies the process of monitoring and managing your security posture across multiple regions. To illustrate how cross-region aggregation works, suppose you have set up US East, North Virginia as your aggregation region, and you link US West and US West Oregon and North California as your linked regions. Then this configuration allows data from all three regions to be aggregated in the US East, North Virginia region. When you access the findings page in the US East region, North Virginia region, which is your aggregation region, you will be able to see the findings from all three linked regions, which are US East, which is the main region, primary region, or the aggregation region we called, and the other two regions, US West, Oregon, and US West, North California. Any updates made to the findings in any of the three regions will be automatically reflected in all three regions, ensuring that the data remains consistent and up to date across your entire security landscape. It is important to note that while data can be aggregated and viewed from the aggregation region, the enablement status of a control must be modified in each region separately. If a control is enabled in a linked region but disabled in the aggregation region, you can view the compliance status of the control from the aggregation region, but you cannot enable or disable that control from the aggregation region itself. Control management must be performed in each individual region. Okay, security controls and standards in AWS Security Hub. AWS Security Hub collects, consolidates, and examines security findings from various supported AWS services and third-party products, which provides a centralized view. In addition to consuming findings from other sources, Security Hub also generates its own findings by running automated and ongoing security checks against a set of predefined rules. The rules against which Security Hub runs its checks are represented by security controls. These controls can be enabled in one or more security standards, helping you determine whether the requirements of a particular standard are being met. When Security Hub runs checks against the enabled controls, it generates findings that you can use to monitor your overall security posture and identify specific AWS accounts or resources that may require attention or remediation. Each security control is associated with a specific AWS service and resource. For example, the CloudTrails control is used to determine whether you have configured log file validation on your AWS CloudTrail logs, ensuring the integrity of your log data. When you enable a security standard in Security Hub, it automatically enables all the controls that apply to that standard. This allows you to focus on a specific compliance framework such as, for example, Center for Information Security (CIS) AWS Foundations Benchmark or AWS Foundational Security Best Practices. Based on the results of the security checks performed against the enabled controls, Security Hub calculates an overall security score and standard-specific security scores. These scores provide a high-level view of your security posture and help you track your progress in meeting the requirements of different security standards. Okay, next is insights into AWS Security Hub. So, insights. An AWS Security Hub insight is a collection of related findings that pinpoints a security area requiring attention and intervention. For example, an insight might highlight EC2 instances that are subject to findings detecting poor security practices. An insight aggregates findings from various finding providers and providing a comprehensive view of the identified security issue. Each insight is defined by a group by statement and optional filters. The group by statement specify how to group the matching findings and identifies the type of item the insight applies to. For example, if an insight is grouped by a resource identifier, the insight will generate a list of resource identifiers. The optional filters help identify the specific findings that match the insight's criteria. Security Hub provides several built-in managed insights out of the box. These managed insights cannot be modified or deleted by users. To track security issues that are unique to your AWS environment and usage patterns, you have the ability to create custom insights tailored to your specific needs. An insight will only return results if you have enabled integrations or standards that generate findings matching the insight's criteria. This ensures that insights are based on relevant and up-to-date security data. Okay, next is automations. Security Hub automations can help you quickly modify and remediate findings based on your specification. Security Hub currently supports two types of automation. One is automation rules, which automatically update and suppress findings in near real time based on criteria that you define. Second type is automated response and remediation. Create custom event bridge rules that define automatic actions to take against specific findings and insights. Automation rules apply before event bridge rules. That is, automation rules are triggered and update a finding before it is sent to event bridge. Event bridge rules then apply to the updated finding. When setting up automations for security controls, it is recommended filtering based on control ID rather than title or description. Whereas Security Hub occasionally updates control titles and descriptions, control IDs stay the same. It remains the same. And that's all. Thanks for watching.